What's up everyone, Soldier First Class here. In today's mission, Square CEO Yosuke Matsuda claims all potential remakes must surpass the originals. Matsuda also clarified why the game was being made episodic. In an interview with Game Informer, Matsuda discussed a few things with the magazine about the Final Fantasy VII Remake and the company's thought when it comes to other potential remakes. Matsuda told Game Informer, "Remakes are harder, more challenging than you think. Just by nature of being a remake, it means that there was an original, and I believe that you have to be able to surpass the original. It's not enough to do straight reprints of the old one, because you also want to get new fans to be able to enjoy it. There are the old fans who know the old game, and at the same time, you want new people to enjoy it. I think you really need to achieve both of these things, and that's why I think it's quite challenging." The original had such a massive impact on the industry and fans alike that it would shape an entire generation of gamers. That's a hard act to follow no matter what the medium is. While some fans are upset over the condition of the remake, it's hard to deny that they're attempting to give fans new and old something they can all enjoy. Taking on a project like this, with the original's impact on not only the industry but the fans, is a massive undertaking. I understand there's a lot of pressure on Square Enix to give the fans the game they've been begging them to make for years. It will never surpass the original in terms of nostalgia and memories, but this game has the opportunity to affect multiple generations of fans, much like the original already has. Matsuda then went on to discuss the episodic structure and why the development team went in this direction. He stated, "Of course the development team would have a variety of discussions about how they should go about taking such a famous game as Final Fantasy VII and remaking that for modern day. I believe that this style of releasing it like this is something that was born of these discussions. But it is true that each of the individual games will be released as independent games. That's how the development team is making them, and so for that reason, I'd like for you to think of them as something you can play as standalone and itself contains a game, and I think that will be worth playing in that way." Square Enix has been known for sequels and multi-part game structure in their recent past, and Nomura himself wanted to make Final Fantasy Vs 13 a multi-game epic. Final Fantasy 13 followed this model as well, and some fans believe that series got better as the games came out. However, after Nomura was pulled from Vs 13 project, Square Enix made the decision to make it all one game. In this way, you could say that Final Fantasy XV's overall pacing and storytelling suffered from crunching the entire epic into one game. If it had been released in multiple parts, I think Final Fantasy XV would have greatly benefited from this structure. This is a mistake they seem to want to avoid with the Final Fantasy VII Remake and will release it as a multi-game epic. Some parts of the game would end up summarized or removed if the game was pushed to be all one title. This would cause more issues with fans than the multi-game structure ever would. Voice acting and conveying emotions is a lot more time consuming than scrolling through skippable text boxes. If Square Enix wants to make this game as great as it has the potential to be, then multiple parts are absolutely necessary to tell the entire story without leaving anything out. This spells nothing but good news for fans like me who want as much content as possible from one of my favorite Final Fantasy games. There's a lot of fans referring to the release structure as a cash grab. However, these are also the same people that didn't care when the developers released a prequel, a sequel, a mobile game, an anime, a novel, a CGI movie, and then turned around and released the same movie again, but with 30 more minutes of extra footage. Let's take a look at the movie industry for some examples. The final Harry Potter book was one full book, but part of the overlying narrative. The movie adaptation was split into two parts. This was to keep from removing any important content from the movie version and upsetting fans who had read the book. The Twilight movie series was also handled this way. While you could say this is a cash grab, in the grand scheme of things, the directors included the content you wanted instead of leaving it on the cutting room floor. If content got cut for the sake of a single release for the Final Fantasy VII Remake, I guarantee we'd be listening to way more complaining than we are about this multi-part release. At the end of the day, Square Enix is a company, and companies want to make money, but at the same time, we're getting a return for our investment in the amount of content we're receiving. These aren't 10 to 20 hour games that are just being thrown together, these are full gaming experiences. Remake is also not the best term for this project, as reboot would seem more fitting. We're getting the same universe and characters, but a retelling of the original game's events for a new era. Nomura also stated they're sticking to the original's overall narrative. It won't be exactly the same, but in a way that's the beauty of it. We'll finally get to see more of the history of these characters and the actual emotion in their voices. We've seen a lot more of it just from the few lines of morality questions we've seen in the trailers. Overall, I'm not afraid of the structure, and in fact I hope it will be successful. Games receive sequels all the time, and that's how I'm looking at the remake. It's the same universe in a new era. It's not a remaster or a one-for-one remake. It's our favorite characters with more screen time, and in no way is that a bad thing. He didn't reveal if data will transfer between games, but it's likely that won't be the case if these are truly standalone games. There are ways of handling this, and with backwards compatibility being confirmed for the PlayStation 5, it's possible that some type of cloud saving will come into play. Only time will tell, but regardless, it won't be a deal breaker for me. Before I go, I'd like to give a special shout out to two new Patreon supporters, Wolf of Mibu and Carl Smurthwaite. Thanks for spending your hard-earned money to support the channel and for helping make my dream of becoming a full-time YouTuber that much closer to reality. Not only do you receive end-of-video shoutouts, you also receive a special Discord role and entries into Patreon-only giveaways. Thanks again guys, and congrats on becoming a Soldier First Class. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to omni-slash that like button. Let me know in the comments section below if you're excited for the Final Fantasy VII Remake, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell to join the ranks of Soldier today. And for all the latest Final Fantasy VII Remake news, rumors, and trailers, I'm Soldier First Class, and I'm on to the next mission. Later, guys.